Now, since I know there's some inquisitive minds out there, I'm gonna jack the front end up with the shocks aired out so we can watch the front suspension droop or bottom out as you would. Coming down out of the sky, land back on Earth, and you got all this room to compress your shocks, and boom, we're on bump stops. Just like that, your axle hit rubber, bottom of your shocks sucked right up into the rubber bump stop. Your sway bar links still got plenty of room for over travel. Everything has got good clearance. I know what you're saying, that oil pan's close, but it's close, but it ain't there. Now, I do like a little bit of extra insurance, so I put iron plates everywhere to protect everything, but you know what happens? It gets so heavy that everything gets ruined anyway, and this isn't mine, and it's not gonna go to the moon. It might go halfway to the moon, and I think it'll be just fine. I think the bump stops will work. Hey, if you bend a bolt, you still got a little extra room. We're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. Look at that. Now, it should be noted that there's a whole lot of trucks out there with big giant coilover shocks on them, and you look at it and you go, whoa, that truck's built to go to the moon. But when you actually look at it, can that truck really compress all that shock without serious damage happening? No, actually they can't most of the time, and of course I break everything I ever touch, so I got no room to talk, but all I'm saying is, when you put some serious shocks on your truck, you ought to spend the extra time and work to make sure you can use the shocks. Then they're not just there for looks. This is so exciting. I'm gonna start putting tires on, then I'm gonna get rid of these stands on the bottom of the axles. Then I'm gonna get rid of these jack stands. We're gonna air the shocks up, and this truck's gonna sit on its shocks, on its tires. I gotta shut the fuck up. It's gonna be faster to do this than it is to talk about it. I can't see anything. How close was it? I don't know. It's a mystery. Get in there. Come on, you little baby bogger. You're not that heavy. Get up there. There we go. In the bowl. Put them in the bowl.
No, this is a doggy bowl.
Okay, well, the dog's not here, so we're gonna use it to hold my lug nuts, okay? Can we do it? Okay, ready? Good job. Ready? Do it again. Nope, we don't need that one. Put that one in the dog bowl. Things are starting to get serious around here real quick. Me and Lemmy are doing hard work. What do you got, buddy? Yeah, he's got the general idea. There you go. Good job, man. You're building a monster truck. Gonna go get the rest of them? Next, we're gonna air the shocks up and see if it'll work. Blocks of wood under the tires that I need to get out of the way. And then I wanna get the jack stands out from the back of the truck. All the while, I don't want the front of the truck to fall because those shocks aren't aired up yet. So I should chock those wheels, then jack up the back and try and remove all this crap without killing myself or the truck. Stay tuned. All right, the whole thing's sitting on that jack. Get these blocks out of the way. Let me get those jack stands out of the way. We're gonna let the truck down so we can go out and play. All right, let's see if I can get these fucking things out of the way without killing us. Come on there, jack stands. You're out of the goddamn way. Time to go play. Oh, fucking shit. That's it. Just throw them and run away. All right, I've thrown them out of the way. Now we're gonna set this baby down carefully as I can. Oh, come on, here we go. Yahoo! My girl, my girl. All Well, after all that, I believe I've got to take the shocks back off the truck and go through them. Right, so I'm a real genius. These are older shocks. They've been sitting on my shelf. I know there's nothing wrong with them, but I didn't tear it until I tore one apart. I tore one shock apart. Everything looked okay. And I started thinking, man, if I top this thing off with oil the way I normally do it, you overflow with the oil and the whole thing gets covered in oil, and then the oil's going to be all over the truck I just painted, you know, make a huge mess. So I got all frustrated with myself wanting to go through all these shocks. And I says, Jimmy Durr, just put the fucking shocks on the truck. You know they're gonna work. Just put them on the fucking truck. Whoever put them together last, they're gonna be fine. There's gonna be oil in the fucking shocks. There's gotta be shims in them, right? There's gonna be accumulators and seals. Yeah, I put the fucking shocks on the truck. They took too much fucking. It seemed like they took too much fucking pressure to get it to hold weight. Then I set the truck down. It's holding weight, but I can pick the back of the truck up by hand, and it's just got like a dead zone in the shock, which makes me think it's low on oil or the accumulators are wore out. If I need parts, I'll call Overtime CNC. That's what I mean. You know, they'll straighten it out. But watch this. I could just kind of pick up on the truck, and you got like 3 inches there where it's just kind of falls back down, and I'm not going to put more pressure in there. I'm just going to assume it needs at least seals and be topped off with oil, and I'll make it fixed. I'll make it better. I'll make it much better with time. Everything gets better with time. Except most things that spoil. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Good night. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna be okay. The rear shocks are back on. I'm gonna bring the tank over, and I'm gonna attempt to air them up again and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Grab your crotch. Pray to the heavens. Hopefully it works.
We don't even need a jacket on.
Yes, it's cold out here. Got nice. I'll pick the truck up a little bit. Not a lot.
There we go, right? Are you lifting it up?
Yep. Down in the back. So we're gonna leave it like this. We're gonna take the hoses off, and we're gonna call the back finished. It might turn out that we need to change it in the future, but for right now, I think it's gonna work fine.
How are you getting the future?
So for now, it seems like the rear shocks are working okay. Okay, let's see what happens up front. All right, so in case you were sleeping, the front shocks took air properly. Everything seems to be working fine. I think the only thing that happened in the back is that these shocks sat on the shelf for so long, the seals were dry. It's got like a rubber seal around an aluminum piston inside the accumulator, which takes the nitrogen, which pushes pressure on the oil, which pushes the shaft of the shock out, which keeps the truck suspended in the air. As you hit a bump or a jump, you compress your shock because the force of all the weight coming down on top of the shock and then earth pushing up on the shock pushes the shaft, which displaces the oil, which compresses the compressed nitrogen. So I think those seals were just sticky, and that was giving it that drop in the shock there where I could pick it up and it would fall. It's not doing it anymore. The back's holding pressure. Now the front's holding pressure. I've got a jack under the front axle. The shocks are holding the truck up, and it's just starting to pick up off of these tall jack stands. So I'm gonna jack the front end up a little bit, get these jack stands out of the way, drop the jack down nice and gently, and we're gonna see this truck sitting and see what kind of stance it actually has. I will now be jacking it up. Now, if I can get that out of the way, then maybe I can get perhaps this out of the way. Perhaps I'll get this jack stand out of the goddamn fucking way. Maybe not. Let's get the goddamn part out of the way. There goes that. And this one's not the friendliest in town. Ah, jack stand's going up. Spring loaded. There we go. All right, hi Mercy May. Stay back there. I got the truck jacked up. I'm gonna set it down. Let's set it down and see what happens. All right, she's ready to go to Wawa. Hey, I heard that. Don't throw rocks at people. Do you want to hurt someone and make them cry?
No.
Don't make Nate cry. He's your cousin. Don't hurt your cousin. Don't hurt people, okay? Treat people nice. You don't want to throw rocks at me, do you? Okay. Now this truck is looking like it wants to go for a ride.
Daddy, but we need something.
What's it need?